Welcome to the biggest Business Legacy Podcast. I'm your host, Paul Dio. Today I have Perry Solomon. Perry is founder of Solomon Growth Advisors. Welcome, Perry.
Good to be here, Paul. Thanks.
For those of you listening, Perry has a display of his book, Grandpa Day. Tell us a little bit about the book and what inspired you to start creating or start writing it or writing it
Sure.
anyway.
So it began with my taking my grandkids out on adventures, one-on-one, intentional time, focused on a grandkid at a time. So each grandkid had their day. The ones based here in Southern California. So I've got three on the East Coast, three on the West Coast. Unfortunately, I don't have quite as much time with the East Coast grandkids, but treasure them just as much and value every minute I have with them. So on the West Coast, we'll go out for a meal, do an adventure. And I've been doing this for the past 20 years.
Mm.
So it's amazing how much I've learned and what processes and procedures I've developed to mentor them during these outings. And I had several conversations with folks, including my own brother, who had difficulty relating to their grandkids, had challenges. And it occurred to me that I have a story that needs to be told and something of value to bring to grandparents so that they can create value for their grandchildren far and above any economic value that they might bring. I think the one-on-one time with a grandparent is worth so much more than money.
Mm-hmm.
And it impacts the life of the grandchild for the entire future, well beyond the time we're no longer here, which speaks to legacy.
Mm-hmm. Now,
And
what inspired you to kind of go out this path?
so the inspiration was the frustration that I've seen in friends and family members trying to relate to their grandchildren, and the fact that I had a cure for that. That was the inspiration. And as I thought it through and started writing the book, I realized that there's a lot of value that I have to give. And sharing that wisdom that I've gained over these years could leave value that would impact lives over an extended period of time. What we do today for our grandchildren is going to last many decades beyond our time here.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it important to do that. I certainly have no vision of being a famous author. That's not my goal. I have no vision of making money from writing a book. That's not my goal. My goal is to deliver value.
Mm-hmm. There's this famous saying or saying that I've heard recently, which is the person asks the gentleman, what's his favorite place to be? And the gentleman says, I have no favorite place to be. I only have favorite people. And the
Mm.
place that I want to be is where my favorite people are. And that's my favorite place. And so that reminds me of, you remind me of that saying and that quote.
Well stated. And
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting in terms of places. One thing that I'm very intentional about is letting my grandchildren make decisions in that in their day-to-day life, when they're in school, they can't make a lot of decisions. The decisions are made for them. In their home life, the decisions are typically made by their parents, whom, by the way, I support as fully as I possibly can. I never want to contradict what the parents are saying. But the grandchild, when they're with me, has the ability to make decisions, simple decisions. As an example, where we want to eat. A meal is always an important part of the event for me. Tonight, I'm taking a grandchild out to one of his favorite places for a good steak.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in a place that's steeped in tradition, but he made the choice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's real important to me. And when they're younger, they have a hard time knowing what they want to decide on. So at early ages, I provide them with a list of alternatives and let them choose. And I find that works really well. As they get older, they understand the world around them more and they understand the options more. They're better equipped to make those decisions without aid.
Mm. Amazing. Amazing. And then when did you start thinking about writing the book?
I started thinking about it maybe, 3, 4 years ago. It took me 2 years from the time I actually started writing until I published. And we just published the book in early February of this year. So
Mm.
it's a brand new book and quickly reached the #1 bestseller status, got great reviews, and it is already changing lives, which gives me great joy.
If you were to pick one story in the book or one chapter, what would be one that you would want to share right now?
Chapter 6.
Okay.
It's the chapter that tells the story of how my 3-year-old granddaughter at the time, who I was taking out for brunch, put a strawberry into the chocolate fountain at the brunch we were at and took such delight in her chocolate strawberry. And I knew something special had just happened. As it turned out, we started touring various craft chocolatiers in the greater Los Angeles area. And she met a fellow, one of the owners of one of the chocolatiers we visited, a delightful organization based in Beverly Hills. That she connected with the owner at a tasting that he was holding for some of his VIP clients, and he graciously saw her and invited her to join the tasting. She was about 10 years old at the time. And he was just so impressed with her ability to discern the various flavors and textures of the chocolates that she was tasting that he took on a role as a mentor for her. And that was where it all began. And then our journey extended beyond that to attending a number of chocolate kitchens in the greater Los Angeles area, where we were watching these organizations actually make their chocolates. Then we attended a number of chocolate shows where they'll have as many as 30, 40, 50 different chocolatiers, each offering samples of their chocolates, and people taste them, buy the chocolates, meet the chocolatiers. And she learned a lot from those. And then Mark at the Chocolatier and Sons suggested that Serena go to an event called the Northwest Chocolate Conference and Festival. And so it's a combination of an industry trade event for craft chocolatiers and a consumer show. And we went to the show, and Serena, my granddaughter, immediately made 2 contacts at the show in a tasting event that have become now also mentors of hers. So it's just a wonderful story. And after the book was published, um, we just attended a chocolate show, a trade show in Amsterdam that had representatives there from 50 different countries. And then just a week ago, we got back from a trip to Hawaii where we visited three different cacao farms where the chocolate plants are grown, the cacao is grown, and spent a lot of time with the farmers. And it's just wonderful to see how it's developed. And so that whole process is outlined in chapter 6 in some detail.
Hmm. Hmm. If I'm a grandparent now and I want to start to begin the relationship with my grandkids, what's the first thing that you would suggest to do?
The very first thing I would suggest is to set aside a set time, a day, to spend one-on-one time with the grandchild and take them for a meal. Meal's a wonderful way to communicate. And then some sort of event that speaks to their interest. And it may take some time to figure out what their interest is, but by observing and active listening of what it is they're saying and understanding them through this intentional one-on-one time, you can begin to discover what their interests are so that you can focus and do things that will speak to that interest. And there are a wide number of things that we do that are just delightful. As an example, the grandkids here on the West Coast are very interested in science, technology, engineering, math, arts. So there's something called makers fairs. And that's where organizations like Lockheed, let's see, Caltech, number of jet propulsion labs have exhibits. So these organizations, large organizations, have exhibits at these maker fairs, and also little groups like schools have robotics clubs, and the school robotics clubs exhibit what their current projects are. And the kids are fascinated. It's a wonderful event to spend the day at. And those kinds of events, and I outline a bunch of them in the book, are great ways to spend time with the kids, to nurture them, to help develop their interests, and to give them a vision of what's possible.
Well, Perry, this has been a one-of-one conversation. I can see the work that you do. I can understand the need, building the relationships with their grandparents and their grandkids. It truly is important, and it can leave a legacy, and it has left a legacy. So, Perry, where can we find more about you and Grandpa Day, and where can we find your book?
Sure. So the book is on Amazon and other leading bookstores. And if you simply search for Grandpa Day Perry Solomon, it'll come up. And then there's also a website, grandpaday.com. And you can find me on LinkedIn. And I'm widely available and look forward to communicating with anybody that is interested in their grandchildren or in how they want to grow their businesses.
This is the type of thing that, um, as grandparents age and they start to lose kind of their cognitive abilities, I think it's something that I think about often, as my personally, as my mom gets older, it's, how do I put my kids in a situation to develop a good relationship with her? And so, you got me thinking about that. So
Oh,
thank you.
excellent. And I will tell you, there's nothing more gratifying than the time you spend with your grandchildren.
Hmm.
It is just my greatest joy in life is are the moments I have with my grandchildren.
Hmm.
And hopefully your mother will find the same.
Amazing. Well, Perry, this has been one very unique conversation. I'm congratulations on the book, and it'll definitely be one that I share with a lot of my clients as they get older and they start to have grandkids. So, thank you.